Previously on Sally Cat Plays Exile 3, Ruined World. Troglodyte ambush! The hunchbacked monsters emerge from concealed holes in the ground. Oh no, whatever shall I do? Ah, nuts. Well then, let's, hold off on exploring for a little bit then. At least exploring that particular corner of the world. But there's a bridge here and another road that I have not taken yet. To the town of Gidrick. And I can't do a full circumnavigation of this one because it's on the water. Horses! And just a warehouse. And just a townsperson. Gidrick weaponry. Nothing interesting here. Armorsmith. This time with body armors. Some of which are actually decent, kinda. Barracks. I'm quite certain that the book in the generic barracks won't be anything interesting. What could be it, I would never know. Didn't have to unlock that one. Hello, you look interesting. A dark and mysterious woman sits behind the counter, mixing up a potion. The smells are alternately wonderful and nauseating. I am Zamora, she says in a soft voice. I make potions of all sorts. Wondrous things they are. She smiles and tastes the brown concoction she's working on. Also, I work with other alchemists. Why, yes. She smiles. In fact, one of them was through recently. Told me of some unusual metal he'd found. He concealed a scroll with a map to it, which he told me about. Then he had the misfortune of being spitted by a troglodyte. In fact, for only 500 gold, I may be persuaded to say where the scroll is. You pay her. Well then, listen close. He said he left the map in Aminro to the north. He said he put it in a hole in a rock face. I'm not sure what he meant, but you might be able to find it. Good luck. Well, there was a, rocky outcropping right in the middle of town. And now potions that we can no longer afford. Pretty good selection, though. The innkeeper works busily behind the bar. Just call me barkeep. Everyone else does. Don't have much here out in the middle of nowhere. You can get a drink. Good beer, only a gold. Or you can have a room, only 5 gold. And no vermin. None of them bed bugs or fleas or leeches like you find in the beds at other inns. Disappointing townsman. This is a heavily whiskered man with a lot of hair growing out of his nose. He smells very strongly of horses. I'm Brick. That's what they call me. He snorts and takes a pull of whiskey. I look after horses. They're my babies. He smiles. I love horses. Then, worried, he hastens to add, in a healthy, natural way. Yaha. Yeah, nothing better to get quickly from one town to another than a horse. I even have a bunch of them out back. Strong and healthy, and for sale. It'd be only 500 gold for horses for your group. Where are you going to get a fairer price than that? Come to me if you ever want to obtain a few. And, of course, I just spent that 500 gold on something else. He looks upset. Not only are you trying to take my babies from me, but you want them for free. Forget it. Well, now I know to come back to Gidrick next time I have some gold. Preferably at least 1,000. But yeah, that is actually a better price than the other guy in Krizan province that also had horses. Continuing down this lonely road. Okay, not so lonely. A small, quick band of troglodytes, far from home and looking to cause some damage, spots you. Bands such as this mainly make fast and vicious raids against isolated farms, but gladly bushwhack travelers when they get the chance. They attack. Near Porter's Retreat. We've got Gidrick North, Golddale East, and Inn of Blades to the west. I've been there before. You are a tiny map. So tiny, I'm having a bit of trouble. Hello, ma'am, you are outside of town, and you still won't talk to me. Okay, so maybe not quite as tiny as I thought, but a lot of it's taken up with empty space. Horse! Porter's Retreat. Please check ore in back room. A tall, thin woman tends the bar. She looks over nervously as you approach. I'm Elise, she says. She's clearly on edge. I run the Porter's Retreat. That's where you are, you know. We have a round of beer for 3 gold, and a decent room for 5. She looks around nervously as she speaks. Sorry, I've been a bit on edge. There's a bunch of troglodytes living to the north. Yeah, troglodytes! There are still some around, and they're raiding us non-stop. The Porter's Retreat is the only place near here where merchants can be safe. She shakes her head. We're well armed, but we hope Sharamik or the Empire or someone does something soon. The things are really too tough for us to fight on our own. They certainly are tough, if some of my battles with them are any indication. She grimaces. Our mighty leaders. Fat lot of good they did us. As usual, the beer is pretty lousy, and again, as usual, it tastes great to you. You aren't looking forward to returning to the swill that's the order of the day in Exile. This woman's skin is dark enough that she could pass for a surface dweller, but you immediately recognize her for what she is, an exile. She looks nervous. I'm Jen. We shouldn't talk. I'm on specified services, formerly selling food in Formalo. Look, we shouldn't talk. I wonder where Ken is. Is he still back in Formalo, being just Ken? She looks more nervous with every moment you spend talking to her. Yes, unspecified services, like you. And again, we really shouldn't be seen talking. Right, look. There's a woman on our side. She's collecting info in Sharamik and Lorelei. You'll recognize her as an exile. Look for her. She can help. Now go away. She stares down into her beer and starts to ignore you. You meet a small man hunched over the table, making intricate notes on a map with a feather pen. He looks up. I'm Kendrick. Greetings. Despite the fact that his name is spelled as Condrick. I'm a mapmaker, of course. A useful trade in these parts. Why, yes. This is one of the few known areas that hasn't been totally explored. Everything the Empire owns is so settled and covered and recovered. Valorum is the only place a decent mapmaker can go to really do interesting work. There's plenty of monsters here, of course, but I just avoid them. I run. All in a day's work. It must be pretty speedy. Or have very good endurance. Anyway, maps. And I take great pride in my trade. You can purchase a beautiful map of this area for only 50 gold. Woohoo! That is a much better price than maps were being offered in Sharamik. He gives you a detailed map, written on fine vellum. It shows the city of Sharamik and everything to the southeast. It should be very useful. Yes, this is one of the guys that I was looking for in this exploratory episode. Map of Carnold Province. Which I can't look at when I'm talking to someone. Carnold Province, as mapped by Gidrick the Mapmaker. Good at maps, possibly not so good at spelling. So we've got Sharamik, Aminro, Angel's Rest, Gidrick, Porter's Retreat, Golddale a little further to the east, Bolton and the Sludge River to the south, we've been there, and over in this corner, Libras, Stormport, and a bunch of islands. And a whole lot of wilderness beyond the mountains. And presumably troglodytes up here somewhere. Even more places to explore. Eventually. Ha. Merchants stopping here must carry a variety of valuable metal ore. It's all kept in here. Each pile carefully labeled, and all of it under the constant, piercing gaze of enormous guards. As you start to step through the door, you notice the floor on the other side looks slightly suspicious. Not entirely sure I want to mess with that. Trap is disarmed. A little bit of gold, some clothing, tableware, and a crappy axe. No thank you. Oh look, nobody's hostile. Excellent. You inspect the dresser closely. Might be trapped. Good thing I saved. And again, absolutely nothing notable in here. Wow. Well, now that we finally have a map of this region, perhaps I shall explore it more. Perhaps I shall go over to the island of Begale and find those level 4 spells that I'm still missing. We'll find out right now. I thought I got into a simple battle with troglodytes that I could just leave off screen, and then I got this message. You search the troglodyte stuff. They had a crude map, written on rough and slightly bloodstained paper. You take it with you. That could be a very useful item indeed. You found this map on a dead troglodyte. It is very crude, but we've got Sheremic, town, and home. Well, now we know even more exactly where to look for you guys, don't we? Ha ha ha. Anywho, I've been filling in some blank areas on the map. This is the mountain pass that was formerly overrun with troglodyte bandits. And over here is the Softport Sheremic area. Here's a bit more coastline. There's some more troglos. Alas, you have stumbled directly into the path of a troglodyte platoon, going to make a serious raid on some human settlement. They decide you look wealthy enough to make a detour to slay you worthwhile. Troglodyte warriors, wargs, troglodyte shamans, and defenders. This one could actually be a little interesting. Okay, the defenders are indeed kinda tough, but they weren't a match for blessing, hasting, and a whole lot of fire. Also, check it out, I got a nice supply of gold again. Maybe soon I will go visit that town with the horses. A stealthy troglodyte raiding party rushes you, weapons drawn and ready. Hooray, even more experience. I am getting kind of a lot of skill points to spend here. Ooh, Peridot, you are doing very well, or you would be if I could get you some training. A rock smashes into the road in front of you. It's 8 inches across, but one of the creatures emerging from the woods threw it without effort. That shot missed, but they're clearly prepared to try again. Oh, we found yet another new monster type. Hill Giants. You can't help but recognize the creature you see. It's smelly, hairy, wears furs, and is over 12 feet tall. It's a giant. It's hard to believe, though. The Empire wiped all the giants off the surface a century ago. What's one doing here? And why didn't a message like this come up when we went through Gukbar's dungeon pit thing? He was a hill giant. Hill Giant, level 10, health 50, throws rocks. Fighter is much the same, but plus a couple of levels. Giants can get a bit annoying. Also, have I mentioned that I love Flame Strike? That did well, but the giants are pretty tough. That's better. Should really get Amethyst a better weapon at some point. She's doing pretty crap damage with the shield mace. As much as I do appreciate the extra defense. Garnet, you've got space for a broadsword. Lorelei to the northeast. But first, the town of Softport. Once again, a town with nothing much interesting on the outer edges. Softport Clothery. Have I been to a tailor yet? I think I have, but it's hard to remember. The town tailor sits at a wide table, pins in her mouth, hemming a long dress. She says something, but the pins in her mouth keep you from understanding. She starts saying something about what she does and what she has for sale, but the pins in her mouth make her very hard to understand. You do make out the word sale. We can buy pants, other, more different pants, and shirts. Softport Fletching. With a perfectly generic Fletcher. Ooh, but he's got some good stuff. Amethyst is still using a cavewood bow. And I can afford a yew bow. Excellent. Also crossbow and bolts. I believe bolts do somewhat more damage. Okay, iron arrows have base damage 12 with a small bonus. Bolts have base damage of 17. A bolt is like an arrow, but shorter and thicker. It is created for use in that most dangerous of missile weapons, the crossbow. Arrows are suitable for firing from any decent bow. This bow is a long, elegantly curved piece of wood, with a nice polish on it. The crossbow is the deadliest of the missile weapons. It is basically a small, tightly strung bow at the end of a stock, and once loaded, is fired by pulling a metal trigger. The bolts it fires hit often and hit hard. Also, iron bolts are considerably cheaper than iron arrows. Maybe I should have switched over to a crossbow. Though it does have bonus +0 to hit, so... I'll stick with regular bow and arrows for now. Doggy! Anything interesting in the inn? No. Also no. And no. Disappointment. We've got a beggar by the docks. A wiry man sits cross-legged by the dock, selling tickets. Well, not a beggar if he is a ticket vendor, I suppose. I'm Terry. He scratches himself. Well, I have tickets for sale. To Fenrisport. Only 10 gold. He laughs, coughs, and spits into the water. Fenrisport. Great town. Lots of scum there. Yeah. He pulls a begging bowl out from behind his back. Only 5 gold, and I'll give you a little information. Aha, so he sells tickets and is a beggar. He hawks and spits an impressive tobacco-spotted stream into the water. The good folks on the Isle of Begale make certain herbs valuable in Lorelei. Be sure to look about. Also, for only 100 gold more, I'll tell you a secret. The guards south of Lorelei will search anyone approaching, looking for these herbs. However, north from Lorelei, there is a hidden way to cross the river and get there. Just walk along the river shore. You'll see it. Question is, do we really want anything to do with these illicit herbs? Church of the Divine Lucre, Softport branch. This temple is unusually lovely and carefully built for a shrine in a backwater town. The floor is precisely cut marble, and mosaics decorate the walls. Building it must have been quite expensive. You meet a priestess. She's counting several piles of gold on top of the altar. When you approach, she scoops it all into a pouch. I'm Nydia. Welcome. I'm a priestess of the Church of the Divine Lucre. We sell salvation at reasonable rates. Actually, I am not yet authorized to grant absolution. Haven't saved up enough to buy the ability. But I can do healing if you wish, and have the money. Prices are expensive, but fortunately, I don't really need it. A beautiful organization. After all, the only way to help others is to help oneself. Self-reliance will lift us all up. Wealth is the great salvation, and we grant absolution for very reasonable rates. Uh-huh. Why do you sound like someone who belongs in Silicon Valley? Or better yet, Wall Street. Office of the Mayor. This mayor is actually in his office. The constant attacks of monsters in Valorum have caused the mayors and leaders to have a constant worried and edgy expression. The mayor of Scowcroft is no exception. However, he seems pleased to see you. I'm Mayor Scowcroft. Welcome to you. Ah, interesting little typo here. Should say the mayor of Softport, and his name is Scowcroft. Whatever. Oh, I just try to deal with all the monsters as best I can. I haven't been nearly as effective as your group, though. You've defeated an entire one monster plague. He looks you over, impressed. Oh, the word of the traveling exiles has gotten around pretty quick. He thinks. Wait, it isn't a secret you're exiles, is it? Am I supposed to know? Sure, whatever. He leans close. I sure don't want to mess around with you, being as you're famous and brave and all. But I'd love to help you if I could. He leans close. Be sure to search my bookshelves, and help yourself to anything you find. He grins conspiratorially. Hee hee. Okay, not taking anything in the desk. This bookshelf is laden with tightly rolled scrolls, no doubt filled with notes of legal cases and other obscure matters. A carved bone scroll tube, however, catches your eye. And is unidentified. So eventually I need to get some identification and training, and more spells and horses. Softport Armory. Wouldn't things be better in leather? Well, for all that the sign is funny, the armorsmith is quite boring. And indeed, only sells leather and... well, mostly sells leather. Also a little bit of bronze. For exorbitant prices. Barracks A. What do you think? Will it be Barracks B? Or perhaps even Barracks C? It's Barracks B! Two more in a long series of copy-paste barracks. So I had intended to go from Softport to Fenrisport on the Isle of Begale, but we are right next to Lorelei. I think I might go there next. Lorelei Pass. Guards are on an illicit substance alert. Travelers may be searched. You reach an Empire checkpoint. A large group of soldiers approaches you. You try to move around them, but they seem very insistent about speaking with you. The captain walks up to speak with you, looking somewhat embarrassed. Many apologies, travelers. Certain herbs, grown on the Isle of Begale, have been carried through here, in direct violation of the laws of our nation. Anyone approaching Lorelei must receive a quick magical inspection before proceeding. If you refuse and turn back, we will understand perfectly. Do you let yourself be searched? Well, attacking seems an incredibly stupid option, so yes. One of the Empire wizards walks up, mumbles a brief spell, and touches each of your packs. Finally, he walks back to the captain. They're clean. The captain apologizes again for the trouble and waves you by. And nearby towns here are back to Softport or north to Malloc. And by right next to Lorelei, 1 map square over. Close enough. Next time we get to explore yet another major Empire city. Until then, have a good one, everybody.